Okay. Hello, Leila. Manay Leila.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Why Manay Leila? I'm just curious.
Well, I'm from Bicol.
Okay.
And then if you're somebody elder, then they can call you Manay or Manay. And then, I'm now with the ML party list. The Mamamayang Liberal, the multi-sectoral arm of the LP, of which I'm also a member. And so, ML, tamang-tama, Manay Laila.
Right, Manay Laila. Okay. Oh, so
Yeah.
it's Laila pala, hindi
It's
Leila. All
Laila.
this time, I actually
It's
thought
spelled like Layla,
Right.
but actually it's pronounced as Laila,
Laila.
L-A-I. But the spelling is L-E-I.
Okay, so at least I know to call you Manay Laila pala.
Laila,
Okay.
Laila. Yes.
And then the
Yes,
party
Chris.
list is what is it called again? What does ML stand for?
Mamamayang Liberal.
Mamayang
And
Liberal.
that is the multi-sectoral arm or wing of the Liberal Party. Actually, that organization, multi-sector organization, has been there already as early as, I think, 2012 or 2013, during the time of Pinoy, because Pinoy was also an LP member. And then, you remember the late CHR chair, Chito Gascon?
Yes.
He was also an LP stalwart.
Okay.
That is his idea, to form a multi-sectoral organization for the LP. Now, but then it was only this year that we were allowed by the COMELEC to participate in next year's election. So it's fairly new. Unlike other party lists, medyo mas kilala na sila. But ML, we're just promoting awareness about our party list because it's a new one.
Okay.
Yes.
Now here's a very straightforward question.
Yes.
Liberal Party has been around for so long.
Yes.
This is the first time I'm seeing the Liberal Party become a party list.
Okay.
Yeah.
May I correct you on that? It's not the Liberal Party itself.
Oh, it's
That
not.
is the party list. It's just a wing, a multi-sectoral wing, and it has actually separate personality or separate existence from the LP. Although it was LP who created via a formal resolution about the creation of the multi-sectoral arm, but technically and officially it is separate from LP. But our membership is overlapping. Like me, I'm also an LP member, and in fact an LP officer. And the two other nominees of ML, former Congressman Teddy Bagilat, Bronner Bagilat, and former Congressman Erin Tanyada, they're also LP officers. And at the same time now, like me, are also nominees of ML party list.
I see. Okay, but does
Yes.
the Liberal Party still have candidates that they're fielding?
Yes, for senator, we have Sen Kiko Pangilinan.
Oh yes, of course.
He's our only Liberal Party candidate. And then we have several candidates for district representatives, as district representatives, congressmen, congresswomen, and a few for governor, a few for vice governor, mayors, vice mayors,
Okay, good.
councilors. So these are actually the candidates of LP. And then,
Right.
And then ML, when it comes to party list, it's not us, it's not the nominees who are technically or officially the candidates. It's the party list itself. Now, if the party list, like for example, ML, if ML would be able to attain a certain number of votes, it's going to be computed, then we are entitled. I can sit as number one nominee, and if we have higher votes,
Then
the three of us would be able to sit
yeah.
as a party list representatives.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Now, with regards to the Liberal Party, I didn't realize there was only one senatorial candidate from the Liberal Party.
Yeah.
It was interesting that, for example, Bam Aquino.
Yes, okay. Bam Aquino, we are also supporting Bam Aquino. Now, Bam Aquino used to be a member of the LP, but he now he has his own party list, the KNP, but he's still an ally.
Right.
So we are supporting him. The
Right.
LP, the ML are supporting him as senator.
And do you think na parang ngayon kasi I remember nung 2016 elections how na-demonize talaga
Oh, yes.
yung Liberal Party.
Yes.
And it was almost a badge of dishonor pag sinabi mo ngang
Exactly.
di ba they made it na
Dilawan.
negative, dilawan. Oo. So, what's your take on this na parang with regards to yung negative image ng Liberal Party, and is that the reason I would assume that BAM did not want to be under the Liberal Party, the Liberal Party? What's your
I
take?
do not know. That I do not know the exact reason why Sen Bam opted to create his own party. But then, and that is one of the main reasons why LP decided that our party list, ML, would be able to participate as party
I
list.
see.
Because it is through the ML, the party list, that LP hopes to be closer to the marginalized sectors.
Yes.
Because we represent marginalized sectors,
Yes.
women, youth, farmers, fisher folks, urban poor, workers, IP, indigenous peoples, and LGBTQ plus community. So those are the sectors that we represent. And when you do that, you become closer to them. You become closer also to the masses because, as you said, we were vilified so much. We were labeled by,
Yep.
like, elitista daw kami, na wala daw kaming pakialam sa mga nasa baba and all that. So we want to reverse that image.
Yeah. At kahit na nga, even with, I remember when Lenny was running, they made it look like para siyang, with the oligarchs at mayaman. And with the irony of that was, she was the exact opposite of that.
Exactly.
Now, how do you think, do people believe such propaganda? Why?
Well, for one, the former president who was leading really the propaganda.
Right.
Was very effective in speaking out the language for the masses. He would speak the language for the masses. He knows exactly what the masses wanted to hear.
Yeah.
So kung ano man ang sasabihin niya, madaling mapaniwalaan. And even if, and all the proliferation of fake news, disinformation, historical revisionism, and then yung mga trolls,
Yes.
army of trolls,
Yes.
and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of trolls, one thing that I did notice, nung 2015, were you aware of the troll army? Were you aware of the rise of fake news
Yes.
at that time?
Yes, I was. In 2015, I was still out. And in fact, I ran for senator.
Yes.
In 2016, I was convinced by Pinoy and also former Secretary Mar Rojas. I didn't intend to join, really, politics when I was with the DOJ. So there was already, but not so much when Mr. Duterte came into power.
Yes.
Grabe yung fake news, and especially when they started already their persecution
Yes.
of me.
Yes.
Right? I was the favorite
Yes.
subject. All those propaganda, those lot shaming.
Yeah, that was so
in
bad.
the House of Representatives. Remember that?
I was cringing. Watching it, I was
That
like,
was
wow,
in-
nakakahiya to para sa ating mga kalalakihan para gawin yan sa
Yes.
isang babae. Nakakalungkot talaga.
Yes, September to October, yung kanilang hearings. It was supposed to be a hearing on the Bilibid drug trade there, di ba?
Yup.
Right? But ang naging focus, ako. Pinag-initan ako. Calling me names,
Yeah.
an immoral woman, etc. The mother of all drug lords, the Bilibid drug trade queen, the number
Yeah.
one narco politician in the country.
Yeah. Alam mo, the sad part was how people easily believed the narrative. And I remember, nung nanood ako nung hearing na yon, nakita ko talaga yung inconsistency between Kerwin Espinosa and Ronnie Dayan.
Yeah.
And their testimony was already wrong.
Yes.
The dates were wrong.
Yes.
Even the way the photo was described, when it was taken, I was like, am I living in an alternate universe? Nobody sees this?
Ganon kasi pag fabricated stories eh.
Ang
Ganon din
gulo-gulo.
nangyari dun sa mga Bilibid witnesses. Most of the witnesses against me, when the 3 cases were filed, the drug cases were filed, were actually the inmates of Bilibid.
Yes.
And grabe rin yung mga inconsistencies nila.
Yes.
Although, grabe yung mga pinagsasasabi nila. Kung mga ano-ano, that I was receiving this and that amount, as I was soliciting money
Yeah.
for my campaign and
Yeah.
all that I was their protector, etc., etc. But the judges, when they decided already, those are 3 separate cases,
Yes.
really found a lot of inconsistencies.
Having been the DOJ secretary at one point and seeing how the justice system is, do you think that our justice system is working?
Okay, let me tell you this, Chris, no? Okay. I cannot I did not lose faith in our justice system. Not afford to lose faith in our justice system, although it failed me initially. Why did I say it failed me initially? Because right after the issuance of the warrant of arrest, my lawyers went to the Supreme Court questioning the arrest because there were defects in the criminal
Yes.
informations. But unfortunately, the Supreme Court ruled against me, ruled in favor of dismissal of the petition by majority. Nine members voted to dismiss, 6 dissented. So 9-6, it was the majority.
Yep.
So kaya tuloy pa rin yung mga kaso, although it took a long time.
Yes.
Kasi inamend pa nila yung una nilang charge.
Yes.
Yung mga ganon. And then may mga judges na nag-inhibit.
Yes.
Several
times.
Seven of them.
Yes, I know.
2 who were not yet retirable opted instead for early
Early
retirement.
retirement.
And every time a judge would inhibit, the cases had to be re-raffled. And then when it's re-raffled to a new judge, the new judge has to study the records of the case. So lalong nadidelay. So I was frustrated with the justice system, but I kept telling myself, I cannot afford to lose faith in the justice system because how else will I be able to prove my innocence
Yes.
and achieve vindication
Yes.
except through or within the justice system?
It's so hard to be in your position kasi honestly, I think most people would have just rather left the country.
Yes.
But mo ilalaban din the incarceration of 7 years, losing your liberty. Malaking bagay yon.
Yes.
And honestly, for me, nung nakita ko yung nangyari sa inyo yun, that showed me talaga a lot of courage on your part. Because nga, 99% of the people would have just left.
I had that option actually.
Yeah.
Because I must tell you, I was arrested February 2017. In December, I went to Washington of speaking engagement, and then from there, I proceeded to Berlin, Germany. That was December 2016. And when I was there in Berlin, Germany, there were 2 foreign groups who approached me. I need not tell you
Of
which
course.
countries. No, and they said their intel information is that I'm going to be charged and be jailed.
Yeah.
They had that information already, December 2016. And so they were offering political asylum.
Yes.
But I graciously declined it because, there's a legal action that says flight is indicative of guilt.
Yes.
Ano na lang isipin ng mga tao
Yep.
na to, marami nang naniwala.
Tapos,
Tatakas
dadagdagan mo
pa
pa.
ako. Lalong maniniwala.
Yes.
So that's it. I mean, because I had to confront. I was really very conscious of that. I had to confront those accusations.
Yeah.
Kasi baka maglinger yun as part of history.
Yes. Pero, so in other words, interesting is you did not take the shortcut.
No.
You did not take the easy road.
No.
You took the hard road. Virtuous, but hard. What was it like, the 7 years? I mean, even the day you were arrested, I mean, I could, against your own will, knowing that it's not even true. Yung
Yes.
alam mong, all of this is trumped up charges. You know people were lying, and yet you have to subject yourself to that. They're playing on a different set of rules.
Yes,
They're not
yes.
even playing by the rules. That's
Yes.
what's frustrating. Ano yung
Yes.
pakiramdam nung nadala ka na, you subject yourself to be arrested and going to jail?
Okay, it is difficult to describe. But to be honest, I never thought that Mr. Duterte would go to that extent of jailing me. I thought it's just going to be...
A bluff.
It's just a bluff, and then daily vilification. Every chance that he had, he would mention me, he would
Yep.
call me names and all
Yep.
that. Akala ko hanggang doon lang. Akala ko he would not go to that extent. But then nung nandyan na, I was also very conscious of the fact I had to face it, even if it's so difficult, even if it's painful for me.
And life-threatening.
Life-threatening, because actually I had 2 greatest fears when I was detained. Number 1 is I won't be able to see any more my family.
Yeah.
Because anything could happen there. In
Yes.
fact, something happened, the hostage taking.
Yes.
Remember that? I almost died.
Yes.
Really. It's a long story. I almost died. Now, another is, what if people forget about me? And, my sacrifices would be all for naught.
Yeah.
So those were my 2 greatest fears. So I had to, and I knew exactly why they did that to me. Because they wanted to silence me, to
Yes.
break my spirit, and to make an example.
Exactly. And after people saw that, people were silent. politicians were silent.
silent.
I was very disappointed seeing a lot of the senators and the congressmen silent, but I understood them.
Me too.
Self-preservation
Yes.
at this point. So, nung nangyari, those were really dark times. And I remember, I already had my vlog that time, but nung time na yun, nag-i-English ako madalas. Kaya napansin ko nung nagtagalog ako, dumami yung viewers. Pero nung time na yun, marami sa mga kaibigan ko nagsasabi sa akin, Chris, why are you speaking out? I go, why not? I don't understand why people are so quiet. But after what happened to you, naintindihan ko yung danger that I'm putting myself in.
Yes.
And then I saw what they did to Maria Ressa, to Rappler,
CJ Sereno.
Oh my God, ang dami. And you know what's the irony? Duterte has something against women.
Yes.
Strong women.
Yes.
He will go after strong women, pero takot siya sa mga malalakas na lalaki. Tulad ni Trillanes.
Correct.
Pero pag sa babae, papatulan niya. That's why I call him duwag.
Yeah.
And I've said it a gazillion times.
Me too.
He is a coward.
I do believe that he is a coward because a coward yung hindi marunong lumaban ng patas.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Diba?
But it was surprising for me na hindi mo naisip na itutuloy niya yung pagkakulong
I do
sa'yo.
believe that.
Because in my mind, he is an admitted murderer. Admitted.
Yes.
If he can easily kill someone with no remorse. Jailing someone is just as easy, if not even
But
easier.
I thought because he's also a Bedan. I mean,
yes, you're both san Bedan.
And then we have common friends na mga Bedans, diba? And then, well, one of them would nagbisita sa akin, if I may share this to you, and was even telling me, mag-apologize ka lang, Laila. Kakalimutan lang ni Duterte wala na yung mga kaso mong yan. Basta sabi ko, why would I apologize? Ano bang ginawa ko?
Yeah.
Siya dapat mag-apologize. Yeah. Yun ang sinabi ko. So that's it.
It's amazing that you stuck to your principles. It's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
So that was the challenge for you, ano?
Yes.
That really tested you. Am I really going to stick with my principles or self-preservation? So apologize and just para makalabas lang. Pero you stuck to it for 7 years.
Yes.
Alam po nyo, para sa akin po, that's why I'm surprised nga that you say that you have hope in the justice system. Kasi ako po, maybe I'm not as hopeful. And this is where I want to ask you about the ICC.
Oh, yes.
Because even if ma-charge si Duterte, I do not believe in the justice system. Not because I think they're corrupt. I don't know if they are. I do believe some judges may be corrupt.
Susceptible to pressure.
Or susceptible to pressure. So it's either it's money or fear.
Yes.
And I believe during the time of Duterte, there was a lot of undue pressure with fear. Especially they were killing lawyers.
Yes.
They were killing anyone and threatening anyone that would even prosecutors.
Yes.
If you even decide to drop a drug case na talagang wala namang basehan, they will go after
even
you.
judges, inaano rin nila.
Yeah, so
tina-target din nila.
So
and labeling them also as drug protectors.
Yeah.
And
so
all that.
How do we fix this? What is your solution? Especially now that you're running, I'd love to hear what your solution to be able to protect the judicial system, knowing that it's a co-equal branch of government, from further undue influence.
I always believe that just like in the executive department, in the political world, that is always a matter or question of putting the right people. So it depends on the appointing power. If he is wise enough, and that he would really just select the right people with sense of independence and capable people, because the selection of judges go through a process, the JBC,
Yes.
Judicial and Bar Council. The Judicial and Bar Council would submit a short list to the office of the president, and from the short list, the president would choose.
Yes.
No, it's a matter of choosing really the right people, capable, worthy people, men of probity, integrity, independent-minded. So if you have that, then easily the justice system would be fixed. The justice system would do its job. Now, my case, for example, as I was telling earlier, several judges had inhibited. So their sense of independence was in question.
Yes.
Because that means there's some kind of an implied admission that they can be pressured.
Yes.
That's why they just
Inhibited.
get out,
Yeah.
get out
Or
of the-
early retirement.
of the cases. So, because they know that Duterte and his minions would know how to pressure them, and they were pressuring them. But you know, nung nawala na si Duterte as president, and lalo na, nung nagka-break up na yung alliance nila,
Yes.
the Marcos and Duterte alliance, ay the remaining judge who was, kasi isa na lang yung natitira noon, my third and last case.
Yes.
The remaining judge handling that felt independent enough because no one was pressuring him. And he could see that he was just being left alone.
Yeah.
So he now have, you know, he would now be doing the right thing
Yeah.
in dismissing the case against me. Just like what CJ Sereno was trying to exhibit.
Yes.
But because she cried foul about, you know, the labeling, yung mga sinasama dun sa watch list, drug list ni Duterte, he was trying to protect
Yes.
the judiciary.
Yes.
Ayun, pinag-initan siya. And he was even ousted in the wrong way.
Yes.
Instead of impeachment. Very questionable yung quo warranto. You cannot remove impeachable officials except by impeachment and not by quo warranto. Unprecedented yon.
Yeah.
So, you know, things like that.
So, okay, so if it were up to you, would you prefer that Duterte be charged here in the Philippines or the ICC?
I would prefer the ICC, really, to be honest about it. Okay, because, we are seeing that the Quadcom is performing okay. Although I was skeptical at first.
Were you skeptical?
I was skeptical at first about Quadcom.
Because?
Because akala ko, political lang talaga. Kasi nga, nag-break up na.
Yes.
So sabi ko, gusto lang nilang talagang, you know, ma-undermine si
Yes.
Duterte, masira siya and all because of the breakup. So I was skeptical. But when I saw na meron ng mga witnesses, na mga ganun yung mga revelations nila, mga bombshell testimony, especially yung kay Colonel Royina, and then they're so determined that they would go up to midnight or after midnight of hearings, mukha kung siniseryoso nila. And they ask good questions.
Yes, they do.
And they exhibit courage.
Yes, they
Although
did.
minsan yung iba sumusobra, grandstanding, you cannot blame them because they're politicians. But I was surprised, even the young members, they're good.
They're amazing.
They're amazing. They ask sharp questions. And they're articulate.
Very.
Diba?
They do their homework.
They do their homework. Si Congresswoman Luistro is very good, excellent, you know, because she's a professor, I think, and used to be a practitioner.
Yes.
So she knows how to cross-examine,
Yeah.
the art of cross-examination. So sabi ko, oh wow, may pag-asa. But then, okay, right now nandyan. So I always call it cautious optimism. I'm optimistic something would come out of that. Kasi yung Congress, hanggang dun lang yun eh. Either policy pronouncements or pieces of legislation.
Yeah.
But they cannot really prosecute.
Yes.
They cannot file cases in court. So it's up to the executive department now, the DOJ. And there's this latest development that Secretary Remulla created the DOJ task force. Now, but then, makakaasa ba tayo na talagang magkaka-follow through?
Yes.
And all that, and then the final filing of charges. And what if there's a change of political wind on or before 2028?
Right.
And you know who the successor is if that happens.
Yeah.
So, syempre, kung ganun na naman ang mangyari, wala na naman. Everything would stop na naman. So, at least the ICC, as far as I know, is now in its advanced stage. So, and itong mga nakita nila sa Senate, yung mga admissions under oath, and then dun din sa Quadcom na dagdagan yung mga admissions under oath, I'm sure the ICC had picked them already. I mean, they were monitoring. Nakita na nila. So that could only boost or bolster the evidence.
Yes.
Kasi nandun sa kanila sila Las Cañas, sila Matobato.
You know what's interesting for me? I don't even, honestly, I think na nga dapat wala ng Quadcom hearing eh. Because umami na yung ano eh. Ano pa yung ini-investigate nyo? So, this is, I want to hear your comparison and your thoughts on this. The Senate versus Quadcom. Honest comparison. You were there for both. And before you say that, I have to say, I felt so bad for you at the Senate.
Yeah.
Because it became a Duterte
Yes.
I can swear naman eh.
They were
It became a
ganging up.
Duterte shit show.
Shit show, yeah.
Yeah, and I felt so bad for him. Like, what is the point for you and the victims
Yes.
to be there, to have to parang hear this old man, and that's an insult to men and to humans, to rant like that and belittle all of the people. And the way even, I'm sorry, Senator Bato de la Rosa belittled all of the witnesses, the victims.
Yes.
I'm like, wow, that was so bad. And Coco Pimentel, sorry,
Handled it badly.
no spine.
It was only Senator Risa.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's why right now, nakikita ng mga tao ngayon, the difference between when you vote for someone based on popularity versus
Ayan.
versus voted by your constituents that really know you, and this is where the Congress really shines way above
Yeah.
Senate.
I hate to admit it as a former senator.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't want to say bad things about my former institution, my former Senate,
And
although-
former colleagues.
and my former colleagues. But kitang-kita ng mga tao ngayon yung diferensya. Yung sa Quad, sa House of Representatives, they are stepping up.
Yeah.
Diba? Not just the Quadcom, it's also the other Committee on Good Government and
Yes.
Public Accountability, scrutinizing the Confi Intel funds
Right.
of VP and former DepEd Secretary.
Yeah.
They're also getting some developments there, contempt na nga nila yung mga tao ni
Yeah.
VP because VP Sara does not
Doesn't
want
want to
to appear. She even declined to take her oath and all
Yeah.
that very high sense of entitlement. So nakikita tuloy ang diferensya.
Yeah.
Na, all of those, yung mga minions nandun, and then hindi naman talagang halata na they're there to protect their principal.
Yes.
Hinayaan lang na magmura.
Yes.
The profanity. Now sa Quadcom, hindi siya masyado nakano pa rin, nang iinsulto pa rin, and then once in a while he would inject na kahit wala namang permission from the
Yes.
chairperson, but he was reminded several times by the chairpersons about the rules.
Right.
At hindi na nga siya nakapagmura. Diba? So, you see the difference. And it's not good for the Senate.
And although I saw nga the Quadcom was able to put them on a leash per se, there were times that bumibigay din sila.
Yeah.
Instead of calling a point of order, they would just suspend. And I was like, okay, napapagod na rin itong mga to. So, do you think ba there's any point to inviting Duterte again to the Quadcom?
Well, it's okay. I mean, yes, they still must invite him because there are still maybe a lot of questions, although marami na ring na-cover.
Yeah.
But especially that, I think one of the reasons why yesterday's Quadcom hearing, there was supposed to be a hearing yesterday, Thursday.
Oh, yes, it was. Yeah, you're
Yes,
right.
but it was
Cancelled.
because they are still vetting new witnesses. Now, if new witnesses do appear and would have new revelations, then he should respond to those.
Yes.
But I doubt if he's appearing again.
Yeah.
Kasi remember that hearing na he was nga taunting the Quadcom. Oh, gusto ko magdamag tayo
all night,
dito.
Marathon,
Marathon.
Yeah, totoo.
So,
And I'm glad that the Quadcom didn't relent. And they said, you want to go marathon? We can. Pero,
we're also worried about you.
yeah.
Your health.
Pero you naman, being beside Duterte,
Oh.
how did that feel? Your tormentor, the one that took your liberty.
Okay. I did not expect that we would be seatmates. I was a little surprised when I saw that our nameplates were beside each other. So, but then sabi ko, okay lang. And then when that gesture was made, yung ganon, I actually didn't see that because I was looking at the chairpersons of Quadcom. But friends started to text me.
While you were at the hearing.
Well, I was at the hearing. Did you see that? Did you see that? What? And then they sent a video clip. So that's the first time that I saw that he was doing that. Yeah. And then, until nga, ganon yung microphone niya na ihahampas na kay Senator Trillanes because Senator Trillanes was seated on my left.
Yep.
What?
2 seats.
2 seats away from me. And Senator Trillanes even reacted, nung ginaganon siya ni Duterte. So sabi ko, sinadya siguro nila na magkatabi kami para may spectacle. And a spectacle did happen.
Yeah.
And then, right after that, a member of the Secretariat approached me And even si Father Flavio Villanueva, who was
Yes.
on my left, also told me na, Laila, baka gusto mong magpalit tayo. And the secretariat also said, Ma'am, baka gusto niyo nung magpalit. And then I said, no. I'm
Yeah.
not scared.
Yep.
I'll just stay here. Baka isipin niya, takot ako sa kanya.
Yep.
You know, and hindi naman talaga ako takot sa kanya.
Yep. So that's good.
So that was my attitude then.
Yeah. Okay. So you weren't afraid naman of anything happening at that moment. ano?
Yeah. Although I was lucky to have at my back si Conquit Belmonte. He was there.
He was there. Okay.
And then every time there's a commotion, he would siya kaagad sa likod ko. He was acting like my protector there.
That's
Kasi he
good.
was also worried na baka daw may
Yes.
mangyari, may gawin sa akin.
And what did you tell Duterte when he wanted to throw the mic at Trillanes? You said something to him. I saw.
Stop it.
Okay.
Hindi yun na pick up ng
Yeah.
mga but that's what I said. Stop it.
Did he listen?
But I don't know.
He didn't even. I would think he was ignoring you. No.
He was ignoring me.
He was intentionally
You-
ignoring
intentionally.
your persona,
Presence.
your presence.
Yes.
Yeah. He
That's
didn't want to
true.
mention your name.
That's why I had to make that manifestation.
Yeah.
How can he say that he does not know me?
Yeah.
He cannot even mention my name, utter my name. So I said, why? Number 1, number 2, number 3. So I said, he's lying. So that's when he reacted, I think.
Yeah.
Na ginanon ako.
What do you think about the revelation of Trillanes, which he's always done since 2016 about the BPI bank accounts?
Yeah. Well, I think that's legitimate because Sonny Trillanes will not be saying those things if he's not very sure.
Yeah.
In fact, he said, sige, sampalin mo ako. Sampalin din kita. Di ba? If I'm able to prove na meron talaga.
Yeah.
I think it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So ang ano na lang nila, ang nagiging defense na lang nila, how were you able to get those bank accounts?
Yeah.
But then it's one of the exceptions to the the bank secrecy law.
Yeah.
So he was daring, and then na naman yung mga inconsistencies ni Mr.
Yes.
Duterte. At first he was daring ICC. Ang tagal nyo naman, bukas gusto ko dito kayo, o kaya ako na lang pupunta, kaya lang wala akong pamasahe, and all that. The drama, yung mga antics niya, theatrics niya, doon siya magaling eh. So, and then, later he would say, walang jurisdiction ng
Yes.
ICC. How can that be? He said he's going to willingly surrender, and then he's now questioning the jurisdiction. Pagdating naman doon sa bank accounts, he was willing to waive at first.
Yeah.
But later, hindi pala pwede kasi joint account
Yeah.
ng wife ko.
Which had nothing to do with anything.
Yes.
But he's very good with that.
You were very good at that.
Ano sa tingin mo yung meron niya in terms of the way he communicates that resonates with people even until today?
Yeah.
Ano yun? At yun, how will you be able to connect naman with the masses?
To be honest, really, that's our problem, our challenge in our party. Yung medyo hirap pa kami in trying to connect and have the masses understand exactly what we are fighting for. That, the basic values of democracy, justice, social justice, good and clean governance, national sovereignty. Hindi kasi yan yung talagang pangunahin ng mga issues sa kanila.
Yes.
Sa sikmura, yung issues nila. The lack of food, the lack of shelter, the lack of education, low wages, yun ang mga nila. But then, dapat maintindihan din nila na yung mga yan, including the concept of human rights, are actually very much connected to their needs and aspirations. For example, the good and clean governance. If there is good and clean governance because we are able to elect the right leaders, yung mga servant leaders, na mga katulad ni VP Lenny, katulad ni Mayor Benji Maggalong, o kaya kay Mayor Vico Soto, these are servant leaders, then there would be less corruption. If there is less corruption, then there would be more resources for them.
Okay.
Ganun ang parang, yun ang we're trying to really make them understand that.
Yeah, but that's tough because again you have to go back to the very basics.
Exactly.
Kasi the issues are so complex that for them hindi lang maintindihan sa akin basta may pagkain sa tiyan, may tirahan, may security, then okay tayo, di ba? So speaking of corruption, I wanted to ask you about the confidential funds. Okay. This has been around since since matagal na yung confidential funds, but it actually went up to the billions because of Duterte. What would you do as Congress partyless Congress representative?
We would tighten because may mga binibigyan ng confi funds, intel funds na wala namang kinalaman sa security, wala namang kinalaman sa intelligence, like the Office of the Vice President.
And the Department of Education.
What is that for?
Yeah.
Right? Para spy, mag-spyan yung mga estudyante. So, it should just be a short list of agencies entitled to confi funds. And then there must be some level of scrutiny and auditing. Kasi it's not subjected to strict auditing presently. So dapat meron din naman auditing dyan. Not as strict as other funds, but there must be some kind of auditing. Yan ang pwedeng mga legislative measures.
What do you think about the President having 4.5 billion in confidential and intelligence funds?
Well, they must also, understandably, no? Okay. The President compared to the OVP, because the Vice President is just really the whole function of the VP is just to be there as a spare tire.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's up to you how you perform. Like VP Lenny really performed well even without confi funds and lesser budget.
Yeah.
But ang President talagang malawak
Yes.
ang sakop ng mga responsibilities niya. Yes, he's the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and also the Philippine National Police. So, understandable na meron ding confi and intel funds. But then as to whether a 4.5 billion is the right amount, that I cannot answer. I really do not know.
Okay.
I do not know.
Because I am advocating against the confidential fund, and at 500 million during the time of Pinoy, I thought that was fine, that was fair.
Yeah.
But the fact that it kept going up, and considering the national budget is already at 6.3 billion.
Yes.
Trillion, excuse me, 6.3 trillion.
And then yung debt natin,
the national debt
ng pataas.
is now at 15 or 16 trillion. Yeah. Now, Congress has the power of the purse.
Yes.
And I wanted to take this chance to also let you know what I thought of it, but also hear your thoughts in it. Worldwide, there is a big problem with inflation.
Yep.
And the national debt in all over the world, especially in the United States, is now at an astronomical level.
Yes.
And it looks like it's about to implode.
Yep.
And the reason also why Philippine peso is depreciating is because the inflation from the States is being imported to other countries.
Correct.
I want to know what your take is on our national budget. Kasi I see that the problem with VP Sara, and this is, I think it's endemic with the entire government, is the way the budget is set, where naglalagay ng budget and parang pataasan ng budget para hindi mabawasan, gastusin nyo yan. I think it's the wrong mindset. I wonder, what's your take on our national budget, our national debt? Is it something that should be lowered?
Okay, the problem is, meron tayong mga big-ticket projects na hindi naman pala ganun kailangan. Di ba? So, and then, the Congress keeps on allocating to certain departments more funds. Okay, the Office of the President will submit the National Expenditure Program, the NEP, that will be converted into GAA kapag ma-approve na ng Congress. Now, may mga dinadagdagan din. Meron din mga binabawasan. Sometimes ang binabawasan nila are the wrong agencies. Like for example, DOH. Siguro, DOH would need more funds.
Yes.
And then DepEd would need more funds. Pero there are other na pwede namang mga bawasan kasi most of the time, during the budget hearings, maraming nakikita ng mga unutilized.
Yes.
Di ba yung mga ganon, yung hindi pala nila kayang i-disburse,
Yes.
yung capacity nila to disburse is not that good, na nasasayang lang.
Yep.
So there could be sana more savings, and then if you have more savings, there would be less need to borrow money externally. Di ba? So ganon, siguro discipline in the budgeting. Kailangan yun na talagang maituturo, ma-identify exactly alin ba talagang mga agencies ang pwedeng bigyan ng mas mataas because meron silang capacity to disburse, nagagawa talaga nila properly. And anong ba yung mga dapat talaga binabawasan and then they tend to, of course, they allocate budget but our revenues are far less.
Yes, always.
Always the budget, and then yung mga loopholes, ang daming loopholes sa tax collection and all that, sa yung
And customs.
smuggling, sa customs.
Yeah.
So, multifaceted din yan.
Yes.
These are all connected.
Yeah, and so as a congressperson, there's so much you can do about it. Diba? Being the one that enacts laws, creates laws. What do you think should we do about that aspect in terms of the revenue side naman? Sige, for taxes and with customs.
Actually, yung taxes sana, that should only be the last resort. Unless yung mga sin taxes, yun mga justifiable yon. Pero others, as much as possible, iniiwasan yung nag-aano. Ang ano nga lang is the spending. Because they're spending a lot sa mga big ticket projects.
Yes.
So I mentioned earlier na hindi naman masyado palang pinag-aaralan.
Yeah.
And in the long run, hindi naman pala mga gagamitin ng maayos and all that. So it's discipline, fiscal discipline.
Yeah.
And that, and yun, yung parang maingat din sa pagbabaro. Ang problema yung ayuda system kasi natin ngayon.
Yes, the ayuda system. Patronage politics has been here in the Philippines for so long.
Yes, although I must tell you, I was actually the principal author of the 4Ps law, the conditional cash program, the 4Ps.
Okay.
Right? Yun kasi conditional There are conditions before you can be the qualified beneficiaries. Yung iba kasing ginawa rin nila ng mga ayuda programs, wala namang mga ganon. So they're free and ginagamit, ina-hijack ng mga politicians. Na dapat bawasan na yun And then you instill yung mendicancy, you instill yung ano sa mga tao. What they need are jobs to make them more productive and
Yes.
not puro lang aasa
Yes.
sa gobyerno.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, yun ang isang problema nga na that was highlighted with the OVP's actions when it comes to her budget na madalas siya nagbibigay nga ng mga ayuda for medical needs, for whatever needs that everyone has. And I said, that was an interesting view that I had because I think that you're right with the Department of Health, for example. Dapat talaga we have a healthcare system that if you don't have money, punta kang emergency care, free na yan. Hindi na ako kailangan pumunta sa aking kongresista o sa aking governor para humingi ng pera. Pareho din, hingi ako ng pera, pipirma, tapos dadalhin din sa ospital. Ganun din, bigay mo na lang diretso sa ospital. That way, walang utang na loob to our Congress or to our governors or to our leaders. It is not even an utang na loob. It is the basic right of our citizens to get free healthcare.
That is correct. I hope to be able to do something about that when pala rin po ako na maging part again of Congress.
I would love that.
So, ganun, tama ka. Kasi, ina-hijack ka ng mga politicians as if that is their money.
Yes. And the way they give it talaga na parang may utang na loob ka sa akin, boto mo ako pagbalik ka sa susunod na election. It's so frustrating.
People's money yun
Yeah. No, I don't owe you anything. That's taxpayers,
Yes.
So, sana talaga po magawa natin ang paraan yan. So what is your main platform? Ano ba talaga yung when you go into Congress, ano ba yung gusto mo mangyari? Anong pinaglalaban mo?
Okay. My core advocacies ever since was human rights, social justice. Yun mga because of the positions that I held. CHR chairperson, DOJ. So social justice also. Because I became a chairperson of the Senate Committee on Social Justice, Rural and Welfare Development. And I became also the chairperson of the Senate Justice and Human Rights Committee until I was ousted by a majority of my colleagues after I presented Mr. Matobato as a witness in those EJK hearings. Remember that?
I remember.
So, iaano ko pa rin yun. But then, since I'm sa party list ako, yung tutok, the focus will be the marginalized sectors. We are trying now to get through our dialogues with these marginalized sectors. Kinausap na namin yung urban poor sector, indigenous peoples, and women's groups. We are trying to identify their foremost concern, lalo na yung urban poor, yung sa mga relocation nila. So, ang balak namin sa ML, and maybe we will be supported by our allied party list like Akbayan, Magdalo. Gusto namin manalo rin sila. Manalo kami lahat para mas marami kami na magtutulong-tulong.
Yes.
So we will craft pieces of legislation kahit isa lang na mga priority legislation for each of the sectors. Kasi the legislative mill is mahaba-haba din
Yes.
yan eh. So if you file many bills, lalong walang pag-asa na makakapasa. So if you just really identify the more important ones, you have chances of having it passed or enacted into law. Now, aside from that, since sabi ko nga, I remain to be human rights and social justice advocate, meron akong ilan-ilan ng mga human rights bills that I filed when I was a senator, even if I was detained, because I could still file bills and resolutions, and that's all I could do, because I could not participate during the deliberations and committee hearings. So I just filed bills. Marami-rami yung mga final ko mga human rights bills, the anti-EJK law, the charter of the CHR, because up to now, would you believe it has no charter? It's a mandate directly flows from the Constitution with limited enumeration of powers. And meron doon such other powers, duties, and functions as may be prescribed by law. So ibig sabihin dapat may charter to add more powers to make it to para mas may teeth.
Yes.
Yung CHR wala pa. But I filed that, the CHR charter. I filed also a comprehensive prison reform bill and unified penitentiary bill, the stateless refugees protection bill. Yung mga ganon. When I was in detention, hindi na naggalaw yung mga bills na yan.
Of course.
So I intend to refile them.
Okay.
As congressman. I can do that because those are my bills.
Yes.
And then, syempre, we expect more issues na mga magkakaroon ng mga hearings. Ito nga, yung Quadcom, yung POGO, yung EJ case, yung mga ganon, confidential funds. So, I can participate there, and lend my voice and my position on these matters. So, yun ang plano ko. And that's one of the reasons why I finally decided, because I didn't have any plans really to run for office.
I remember when you got out, you said you didn't want to run.
The Senate or whatever. But I was, I was convinced by my colleagues in the LP, you better join ML as number one nominee so that we can have a strong start. Because naman na, even if it's the party list that is the candidate, people would still look at who are the nominees.
Yes.
Personality-based ng natin eh.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yung mga platform hindi masyadong pinapansin.
Yes. Yeah.
Personality, centered.
Yes, totoo.
Basta popular ka.
Pero,
pwede kang manalo.
Alam mo, maybe I'm naive, pero parang napansin ko now, it's a little, somehow, it's a slight changing of the tides na I think it's because alam na nga natin, aware na tayo sa mga fake news and propaganda. Ngayon, people seem to be more aware and thinking more now. At hindi na lang sila nagpapadala sa the mob rule.
Yeah.
Because in 2016, that was the mob rule eh.
Yeah.
There were a lot of trolls, basta nagko-comment yan, you just shut up.
Grabe yun.
Di ba? Pag basta maraming sinasabi na tama itong ginagawa na, tahimik ka na lang. You don't want to be attacked. You don't want to be bashed. But now, I think people are standing up.
I think so also.
So, I think...
Although nandiyan pa rin syempre yung mga trolls. And they could see kasi, the truth has started to come out.
Yeah.
Diba? So, although always cautious optimism ako eh.
Yes.
I'm always, ganun lagi ang attitude ko sa mga ganyan. Cautious optimism. You expect the best, but you have to prepare also for the worst.
Yes.
Ganun lagi ang mga natin. So, but you're correct. And then, kailangan talaga critical thinking eh. Even among the students.
Yes. It starts there.
It starts there.
Yeah, totoo yun. Actually, you know what's interesting? I engage with everyone when I have conversations, and I had a conversation recently with a supporter of Duterte, who's they own a business. They actually own a school, and they're Christians. And I was surprised when I hear them talk. And this is something that I found. Maybe I got some insight on how they think. It's one issue voters. And for them, it was very simple. Basta may peace and order, kahit na pumatay siya ng tao, kahit na may collateral damage, kahit na inabuso niya yung kapangyarihan niya, at kahit na corrupt siya, okay lang.
I've heard about
Basta
that.
lang may peace and order sa aking lipunan.
Because in the first place, they're not affected. Ihintayin pa ba nila na merong patayin sa pamilya nila?
Exactly.
Di ba?
Yeah.
They don't care ng mga ganun nga. And especially, they were targeting the poor.
Yes.
Just the poor.
Yeah.
Di ba? Yung, kaya,
How do you fight that mentality, or how do you correct that perception?
Well, first is, okay, they should be able to understand. You just have to tell them. Na, do you think that if there are lots of killings, do you think there's peace and order? There's law and order? Murder is murder.
Yes.
Murder is lawlessness.
Yes.
So, dapat maintindihan nila yon.
There's no differentiation.
There's no differentiation.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, in that sense, are you favorable towards, I think I know your answer, but I'll ask it anyway. Are you favorable towards the death penalty?
No, not at all. I will always oppose death penalty.
Okay.
You know, because I'm a human rights advocate and always believed, even if before I joined government, that's my position already, for several reasons. My God, the justice system that we have. Kung yung mga advanced countries, ay yung mga countries with advanced justice system, di ba there are still states
Yes.
in the United States
Yes.
imposing death penalty. Nagkakamali pa.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Tayo pa. Can you
di ba,
imagine?
May mga documented cases of
Yes.
wrongful
Yeah.
executions, wrongful convictions,
Yes.
and it turned out pala inosente. And then napatay na,
Yeah.
nabitay na. Paano pa ibabalik yon?
Yeah.
Just fix the justice system that the guilty ones are really the ones adjudged guilty, and then speedier dispensation of justice. Hindi yung ilang taon nabubulok ka na sa detention center
To find out you're innocent.
innocent. You already served more than the imposable penalty.
Yeah. You're actually a perfect example of that.
What if, you know, na kinonvict ako,
Oh, exactly.
na-convict ako,
Yeah.
and then at binitay ako,
Oh.
innocent!
Yeah.
Di ba? Because political ano yun persecution, harassment.
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
nagkakamali pa rin.
Yeah.
And most of the time, yung mga poor. Because
Yes.
they don't have resources to pay for good lawyers.
And as a matter of fact, that's the irony of it. Yung mga mahihirap, sila yung mga nakukulong, not necessarily because they're guilty. And the most guilty ones, I haven't seen a single corrupt politician actually be, except I have to say, during the time of Pinoy, when you were DOJ secretary,
Yeah, we found those
finally, I said
cases.
finally. Pero ano nangyari? Na-reverse, na pardon, na
acquit.
Yeah,
and all. But yun. Yung poor nga, wala silang meron pala sila dapat mga justifying circumstances,
Yes.
mga good defenses, and yet since they don't have good lawyers, kaya gano'n, ma-declare guilty sila. Pero yung mga mayayaman, kaya mga drug lord, big time drug lord,
wala, hanggang ngayon. Nakalaya pa. So, okay, let's talk about one last topic I want to talk about now is the BBM presidency. Okay. So,
all right. Now, I thought that because it's a Marcos, diba, I thought there's just gonna be continuation of the authoritarian rule na rinestor ni Duterte. Originally, the Marcos Sr.
Right.
Dictatorship, totalitarian, autocrat. And then, medyo nung nag-EDSA revolution tayo, bumalik tayo sa demokrasya. So maayos lang, until again Duterte, another populist leader, another authoritarian ruler. So, akala ko, since it's a Marcos, ganun din, it's just a continuation. And nakikita natin ngayon na mukhang hindi naman. Because we could see, objectively speaking, I'm part of the opposition, but I cannot just say, I cannot be dishonest in what I think about it. So, nakikita natin meron tayong democratic space at this time. Yes, meron pa rin mga repression, kasi meron pa rin yung lalo na yung red tagging. Ayan ang problema, hindi nawawala yung red tagging. I hope they should start doing something about it by abolishing that NTF-ELCA.
yes.
Diba? So, yung Wala. I mean, but whether is it going to be now a restoration of the democratic legacy from Cory Aquino's time? It's too early to tell. Parang nasa transition tayo
Yes.
Transition from the restoration of authoritarianism towards democratic legacy. Nasa gitna tayo kasi hindi pwedeng bumalik doon sa authoritarianism o tuloy-tuloy na sa democracy. You see, ganun ang feeling ko Kasi at least, itong Pangulo na to, hindi palamura.
Yes.
So medyo decente as a person. And then hindi pa mamatay tao. He does not say kill, kill, kill,
Yes.
kill. And I don't think that even if there are still killings, there are still EJKs.
Of course.
Hindi lang masyadong nare-report.
Yeah.
Pero, I don't think it's state-sponsored.
Exactly.
Baka mga remnants na lang yan.
Yeah, mga yung mga cops na, rogue cops. Yeah, that's all it is which always has naman in any administration But the difference was kasi, and this was funny ng mga supporters ni Duterte saying, bakit ng panahon ni Pinoy may EJK din Yeah, but remember, state-sponsored from the top. That's the big difference. And it's ironic how they come up with these arguments but I don't even bother debating sometimes with them. But okay, so if you were to rank the presidents, ayan. Okay. I don't know if you'd want to do that. Who would you say from best to worst? Let's go with 5.
Well, of course, Pinoy.
Okay.
I really
Of course.
admire the guy. I respect him so much. He's clean, honest. And then look at what happened to our economy during his time.
Yes.
We were supposed to be a rising tiger.
Yep.
Kaya lang medyo nasira na naman nung pagkatapos niya.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, di ba? So maybe the second one would be FVR. Kasi ano rin siya. I mean, at least even if he was a military man, hindi siya iron fist.
Yep.
Diba?
And he was very smart, very disciplined. I like some of the things he was doing.
And then after FVR, parang mahirapan ako.
You don't wanna...
Although of course, Cory, because the Democratic icon siya.
Started there. Okay.
There.
Sige. You can make that the third.
Yeah.
Okay.
After
and
that,
then,
hindi ko na alam. Pero last sa akin, syempre, si Duterte.
I think naman with a lot of people that are sane, Duterte would be one of the worst. Would you say that he was worse than Marcos Sr.? Or would you say Marcos Sr.?
Iba kasi yung ano nila So I cannot really tell. Iba yung levels nung mga pagkaano nila Pagka-authoritarian
Yeah.
Diba? Si Duterte kasi so crude and then everything is personal with him.
Yes,
He's
vindictive.
Such a vindictive,
Yes.
vengeful person.
Yes.
Hindi naman ata ganun si McCoy.
Si McCoy was more of a strategic, how do I keep power?
And has this.
Yes. Not to say that it's better, but somehow, at least sa kanya, medyo tinago pa Etong isa, walang no shame.
Openly.
It frustrates me, that Filipinos, at the start, denied that Duterte was doing it. They would say, no, it was the rival drug gangs. And then when Duterte started saying that he would actually kill people, then they celebrated the killings. They actually celebrated. They say, tama yan. They would actually even say na tama yan. And I had friends that are Christians and Catholics that would tell me, okay lang yan. And I would say, are you saying okay lang pumatay? Actually, hindi okay pumatay. Pero pag si Duterte papatay, okay lang. Well, iba naman daw yun. Oh, wow. I'm like, okay, to hear that.
Yung kasi, distorted sense of social cleansing.
Yes.
Yun ang niya yun ang talagang inano niya sa masa na brainwash yung mga tao. And not just masa. There were doctors, there were lawyers, there were professionals.
As a matter of fact,
who were
even entrepreneurs, business people, management. You're right. It's not it's an absolute brainwashing of the population, and it's happening all over the world. So with BBM, you think ba na do you like what you see so far?
Yes and no. Yes, I like the foreign policy.
Okay.
Because he's very conscious about the image.
Okay.
He's trying to really, especially we are going back to our traditional Western allies from the pro-China policy of Duterte. So and then very conscious siya. Kaya nga type niya palaging pumupunta sa mga international events na nakikriticize siya. So I see that, and of course, yung ano niya na iba yung, at least officially, pronouncements niya, iba yung policy with respect to combating the drug problem. So it's not the punitive aspect anymore, but parang nag-ano siya na more of rehabilitation. It's a better approach, yung mga ganon. But kulang pa siya in the sense na parang hindi siya nakaka-connect pa dun sa needs of the people, the real needs of the people. Kasi look at our agricultural sector. Di ba, a lot of problems there.
Yes.
Even if we assume the agricultural portfolio, wala naman siya talagang accomplishment na malaki dun sa ano na yon. Hindi naman talaga nag-improve yung agricultural sector. Kulang siya sa ganon. And then sometimes he is also being seen as weak. Di ba? Yung hindi siya masyadong nag-ano
Yeah.
When tayo kasi I don't know, most people would prefer iron hand. You know, if there is such a thing as a benevolent dictator, that is what most Filipinos would want.
As a matter of fact, I think it's a trend worldwide.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The populism.
Yes, I think it is.
So, yung ganon. So, yes and no. But of course, if you compare, kasi masyado kasing bumaba yung standards
na kahit sino will look good
would
after
look
that
good
one.
after the previous one. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. So, what about since you used to be the DOJ secretary, how do you rate the performance of the DOJ secretary Remulla today?
Okay, si Secretary Remulla, of course, because he's a politician. And then akala ko noon siya pro Duterte siya
Yeah.
Di ba?
I know.
Di ba yung
I thought so too.
Pero at least yung kanyang mga pronouncements, at least I'm talking about my personal experience, yung pagpasok niya, yung mga statements niya, not as bad as yung mga statements ni former Secretary Aguirre.
Oh my God, Aguirre is
Grabe yun, siya na ang chief enforcer ng persecution ko So, and then the things that he was also saying about me. Pero si Secretary Remulla, except for one or two occasions na medyo may mga hints din siya ng but most of his statements about my cases are fair.
Yeah.
Are fair.
Yep.
He did not say openly na, guilty yan, dapat talaga yan ma-persecute, or what. Iba yung mga sinasabi niya. But then I think he has health issues now.
Yes, I think cancer, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure.
I hope he's okay, to be honest with you.
Yeah, at least ito ngayon, yung pag-create niya ngayon ng DOJ task force.
Yes.
And then hoping nga na matuloy na yung mga kaso. Those are good signs. And his I think he has leadership skills because a politician nga. So,
that's really comforting to hear that. I have one last question, and I wanted to know: are you gonna file a case against Duterte?
Oh yes, definitely. My lawyers are working on it. But they're just being careful as to what exactly to be filed.
Okay.
It's so easy to craft a complaint and then file it. Pero yung whether or not it stands in court, that's another matter. We have to be very sure about our supporting evidence. We know exactly what happened, and we have ideas kung sino-sino pa yung mga involved dyan. Iba, not just Duterte, not just Duterte, not just Aguirre, yung mga ibang handlers, pina-access nila dun sa mga bilibid inmates, mga pinilit nila, kinausap sila, prenomesahan ng kung mga ano-ano just to falsely testify against me. We have ideas who are these personalities, but we cannot yet prove them. Diba? So we are looking for those proofs na talagang makaka-connect. Na these are all conspiracy of lies. So these are all co-conspirators. Sino-sino ba talaga? And exactly what are the cases to be filed? They're studying it. It can be both civil and criminal. Civil aspect will be damages.
Yes.
Because the moral damages
that
were caused sa akin. I lost 7 years of my life. I was still in my prime years when they did that to me. And then, of course, yung mga malicious prosecution, perjury, subornation of perjury, and all that. So they're still studying that, and from time to time naman they would update me what's the progress of those cases.
Okay, and what about the vloggers? What about those ones that were very malicious
Yes.
in actually just destroying your character and integrity and everything. Is there anything that
Kasama
can
dyan
be...
si Mocha Uson
Yeah.
and several others. Yes, that's also part
Okay.
of the preparations.
What? Why? Okay, no. So you explained why it's taking long. I wonder, what's your timeline for this?
I cannot say yet. Now, better if it's within the year.
Yeah.
But baka hindi na umabot, especially so that I'm very busy now
Yes.
with with the ML related activities. So, but my lawyers are working on it.
Okay.
So they would just tell me if prepared na sila.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I support you with that, and I think you should get your justice.
Yes.
And this sets a good example also for others that have been persecuted the way you have. And there are a lot of people languishing in jail that don't even they're even supposed to be there. So I really hope you're going to be able to be successful with that. I really also hope you're going to be successful in becoming a party list representative. And when you do, I look forward to watching the hearings and commenting on it. So thank you so much for your time, Manay Laila.
Thank you also, my absolute pleasure.
Yes,
Pleasure. And nice meeting you.
Yes.
I've heard about you, but first time I met you.
And then, by any chance, if you have anything to say to our audience, you can directly address them.
Okay, sandali lang po. Alam niyo naman po, merong election tayo next year. Dapat po isipin natin, lalo na yung mga kabataan, na napaka-critical po ng election na yan. Na dapat maintindihan natin na lahat tayo may tig-isang boto. Lahat tayo ay pantay-pantay pagdating sa election. Mayaman ka man o hindi, matanda ka man o bata, pantay-pantay tayo. Kasi particle of sovereignty ang tawag dyan. We are the sovereign people. All powers emanate from us as sovereign people. So wag niyo pong sasayangin ang mga boto niyo. Pag-isipan ho natin kung sino yung mga karapat-dapat pagdating ng election. Wag ho tayong masilaw sa pera, sa vote buying. Kasi kung magkamali ho tayo sa mga i-elect natin, magsasuffer tayo for 6 years. Ang dami po. Tingnan nyo nangyari last election, last time. Di ba? Ganun ang nangyari. So, dapat ho, hindi na humaulit yun. So, yan lang po. Salamat po.
Okay, and your party list again?
Yeah, ML, Mamamayang Liberal, but I cannot yet campaign.
Of course,
because
you're
it's
not.
not yet official campaign period. I
Yeah.
just want people to know that there is a new party list called ML,
And it's-
Mamamayang Liberal.
And it's number what on the ballot?
Number 6 on the ballot.
Number 6 on the ballot. Okay.
Yes.
So is it going to be called ML there or is it going to be...
ML.
Nakalagay ML lang talaga.
The acronym.
Okay. Not Mamamayang
Not-
Libre. It's
no.
just M and L.
Yes, ML lang.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. So ML. All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much. It was
Salamat.
great meeting you.
Salamat.
All right, everyone.
very
Thank you.
much.
This is it. Bye.
Bye-bye.